Alright, so hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, nice, thank you for joining us. If you're not new here, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this video. Today we're going to be tier ranking some summer romance movies. It's almost that time, it's April, summer's in like 2 months, and I think when it's summer, you get bored, sometimes you don't go on vacation, or sometimes you do and you want to watch a movie. Here are some movies to get you in that summer romance mood. So let's go ahead and start tier ranking them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Those are three things. We're gonna start off with, let me get my little notesy notes, In a Relationship, and this is a movie about two couples. One is an older couple, like they've been together longer, and one is a younger couple. It's very intriguing because it keeps you invested in their relationships on each one of them, and you're wondering like what's gonna happen. It is a very messy romance, and I can't tell who, if they even liked each other at all, and if they did even like each other a little bit, you can definitely tell who liked each other more. And for that reason, I'm giving it 2 out of 5. So I would say they're just meant to be besties, like all of them. Now we're going to continue on to something more romantical. 50 First Dates is a very cute movie. It has Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, and if you haven't seen this movie, you should definitely watch this movie. Their chemistry is off the charts. Like, when I saw this movie, I thought they were married. I had to look it up and I was like, they're not married. And they had another movie, I think it's called Unblended. And also their chemistry was pretty good there too. But this one is way better than Unblended. Like, trust me. It's way funnier. It's just amazing. It's a very 2000s classic rom-com moment. And I always watch this. I consistently rewatch this movie. So let's move that to my 5 out of 5 rewatch after rewatch, because I do that. Call Me by Your Name. Let's get ready for this. Everyone hyped this movie up. Everyone said it was amazing. I don't understand the hype. Maybe an unpopular opinion, I don't understand the hype. It felt like it was only hyped up on social media simply because of shock factor. And I say this also about Saltburn. Everyone's saying, watch Saltburn. Saltburn is so good. I watched it and it wasn't good at all. Call Me by Your Name, I won't want to compare it to Saltburn. I only want to compare it to that it got hyped up because of shock factor and because the main leads were very like well loved. So that's the only reason I understand why it's hyped up, but it doesn't mean it's a bad film. It's a good film. It has beautiful cinematography and soundtrack, but it doesn't meet the expectations that I had because of how hyped up it was. The only thing that made me uncomfortable though was that I saw it as a mentor-student relationship of just discovery and sexual awakening rather than just pure love and like actually revealing your sexuality. I just kind of saw like he was his mentor, and it made me very uncomfortable, not just because of the age gap, but that did contribute to it a little bit. But I've seen movies where there's an age gap and it doesn't feel like a mentor-student relationship, and I'm actually going to talk about a movie like that later on. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to put this in the I'll give them 6 months because they actually didn't even last 6 months. So let's go ahead and put them there. Okay. I love Wes Anderson cinematography. It is so beautiful. I mean, there was a whole trend about how I couldn't even stop watching the people who were doing this trend. Like, it was so good, so spot on. I love this, like, these like stills and symmetry and the color grading. It's so beautiful. So I am definitely gonna give Moonrise Kingdom a 5 out of 5. Not just because of cinematography, okay? Not because of the cinematography, but it's a very, very charming, innocent love story. In the summer, just there's this kid at camp, and then there's this girl, and they just meet and they decide to run away together, and it's not realistic at all, okay? Like, this isn't gonna happen. Nothing that happens there makes sense. But don't think about it as an adult. Think about it more as like a movie that enters the mind of a child, because in this story you're following the love story of two innocent, I think there's 12-year-olds or even younger, I don't remember, but that's just how I pictured it, and I really enjoyed this movie. I would watch it again. Of course, you already know 500 Days of Summer was going to be on this list. It's in the name, 500 Days of Summer. But if you haven't seen this movie, the girl's name is Summer. That's why it's 500 Days of Summer. It's just like how many days he spent with her and stuff like that. I love this movie, surprisingly. I know not a lot of people really like it. It's a good movie and it's very hyped up, but for good reason. I am a sucker for musicals, and there's like one musical number there, but it's supposed to show you like how he sees love. It's just like when you're in love and then in musicals, and I don't know, I loved it as a theater kid. I just absolutely loved that musical number. And this whole movie is him caring about his own feelings and not her feelings, really. And it's very like, I don't even want to say quirky. It's very funny in a low key way. It's very real about how relationships are, about finding the one, and how some people are very delusional. And that's okay, because we're all delusional at one point about love. And then a relationship hits us and makes us realize that that's not what love is, and love is more real and comes with many difficulties. Basically, that is what that movie is. You are getting out of your love delusional self. Okay, I'm looking at this now and I have way too many 5 out of 5 rewatch after rewatch. Okay, let's get to our next one, which is my notes. Anyways, the next movie is How Stella Got Her Groove Back. So this movie was okay. I thought this movie was okay. I love this actress, but the guy actor, her love interest, no personality. Like, he was just there to be there, and I don't know if that was the point of the movie, but I just didn't feel any chemistry going on to them. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, a guy, and he wants to be, and it just felt weird. I did enjoy the first half, which is taking place in her going on vacation to a resort, and I thought it was going to be, seeing that and seeing how she was acting and how she was growing and what she was realizing, I thought it was going to be a story about self-love, like during the summer, and the male character just being like a side note to that story. But no, he ended up actually being really important to it. And it's just, after that resort scene, after I saw that there was no chemistry between them, I just found myself not caring. This one, I'm going to give it a, do you even like each other? Because they weren't even meant to be besties. They weren't even meant to be besties. Nope. Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia. Okay, so if you don't like musicals, obviously this isn't going to be for you. I love musicals. I'm definitely going to give this a 5 out of 5. I found myself consistently singing these songs, especially the Honey, Honey, How You... That one, Honey, Honey, gets me. The way, what's her name? Let me look at their name. Amanda Seyfried? The way Amanda sings this, just, it's amazing. It's just amazing. This is simply because I'm a sucker for Broadway musicals. If you're not, then this would probably fall under the Such a Cute Couple, Please Let It Last. Definitely, if you don't like musicals, I feel like you should still give this a watch, because you might like it still. It has great song selection, especially like ABBA, I don't know how to say it. It's meant to be a cheesy, goofy, fun time movie, so just like, it's just really entertaining to watch and rewatch, especially if you don't even like musicals. So I would suggest you give this a try, and I'm giving this a 5 out of 5. The Sisterhood of the Traveling The Traveling Pants. So this movie, it took me a while to watch it because it didn't really catch my interest in any of the trailers when it first came out or anything like that, but it is definitely worth the watch. It's really good. It's about friendship. It's about, how do I say this? It's very unrealistic, but also not. So it's about this group of friends who find some pants, a pair of pants at a store that magically fit all of them. They're going on summer vacation and they're sending these pants through mail back and forth because they figured out that these pants give each other good luck. Yeah, I love that. That's a very interesting plot. I don't know if it was a book before, but they did really good at making it interesting to watch, getting you really attached to the characters. I did tear up at some points. I did cry at some of them, but not like cry, but just like, oh my god, that's really sad. It's very good summer romance in friendship romance, okay? Because romance doesn't have to be, between you and someone else, romantically, passion, love making. No, romance can be friendship. So this is a very good summer romance if you want to watch with your girlies or your guysies. You just go ahead and watch that. I loved it. I am giving it, are we majoring in chemistry? I'm not giving it a 5 or 5 because there was some questionable plot points that just fell through and I didn't quite understand, like, how did this happen? How did that happen? Just because of that, I just put it 4 or 5. Are we majoring in chemistry? I honestly didn't know this movie existed. I know this scene existed, the one with the boombox. I've seen it before in movies. What is it? Easy A. And I was just like, interesting. And everyone who was like older than me would say, oh yeah, it's from a movie. I didn't know what movie until I finally saw this movie. And surprisingly, this scene is not that big of a deal. It probably takes in the movie at least it takes 1 minute of the entire movie that this scene happens. It's not like a big deal like in the Breakfast Club where it's like, hey, 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 and he's the ending scene, and it's just like very, oh, this is what is that word? This is iconic. This wasn't that iconic in the movie. It just was very romantic, yes, but not iconic. This movie is amazing, beautiful. It made me believe in love times 100. Like, this is quite literally the dream person, the dream significant other. This movie, I love it. I love it. I regret having had taken so long to watch it, because if I had seen this when I was younger, my standards would be off the charts. My standards would be off the charts. I wouldn't have gotten so heartbroken. If you know what I mean? So if you need standards, this is the movie to watch. It's very relatable and realistic. This is what this movie is. Don't expect like such a huge love story. Their love is so real. It's nothing like dramatic. It's just you following two people who are about to go into college, and they're trying to spend their last summer together, and it's a very great representation of a budding young adult relationship. And it made me chuckle the whole time. The whole time I was chuckling and I was smiling and I was cheesing. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I feel like I was being romanced. I was being romanced. So this is a 5 out of 5. You have to watch this. You have to watch it. Next one, My First Summer. This movie is so lovely. The story is very confusing. Like, I don't know if it's because it's based in a different country. Maybe I just don't understand. Something happens to this girl's mother, and she is orphaned. And the only thing that I find confusing to me is the way the police handled the case of this mother and finding the child, the teenager. It was just very odd to me. It took too long for them to have found her. That's the only reason why I was like, this doesn't make sense. And also what didn't make sense is that I didn't know what time or period this took place in, because it was giving modern day living, but it was also showing props and stuff that I hadn't seen since the 90s that I didn't know still existed. So I wasn't sure if it was like 90s, 2000s, or just like it's now, current time. Just my brain couldn't piece these pieces together. So sometimes I'd be like, I'd see a prop and I'd be like, like, wait, so what? And I'd get confused and it'd take me out of it. But their romance brought me back in. There is a very strong connection with these leads. It's very beautiful. The camera work is so calming. Everything is so calming. This was like ASMR, but low-key ASMR. It just made you relaxed and made you really feel like, oh, these two people really care for each other, really love each other. Just like Call Me By Your Name, where I was scared that they were gonna go the mentor student route or the motherly route, but no, she didn't go the motherly. They didn't go the motherly route here, the motherly romance. No, it went more like the way one of the girls was raised. She was not allowed to be a full teenager, and she was raised very differently, where she was kind of secluded from the real world. So when instead of taking the motherly route, they instead got this secondary character to go ahead and show her how to basically be a teen again, how to act and be happier and enjoy the things that she was secluded from. It's a good movie. You need to watch it. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5 and put it in Are We Majoring? No, because I'm gonna put it here, In Such a Cute Couple, Please Let It Last. Simply because of how I kept getting out of it because of the props and I couldn't tell what time it was in. But that could just be my brain. So if you watch that, maybe let me know what time it was in if they ever mentioned it. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. So if you are into the raunchy, rowdy-esque movies, then this would be a movie for you. Personally, I found myself laughing at some parts. I thought it was funny, but there was no chemistry between anyone, like his ex or his current girlfriend. Like, I think personally, I'm just gonna give them the "You're Just Meant to Be Besties." I have not that much to say about it. Just, it's an alright movie if you like raunchy comedies. Don't judge me. I know you're looking at this movie and you're saying, summer romance. This is actually a summer romance. I think for the summer, they get Wednesday and they put her in a camp. And in this camp, she has her first crush. It's hilarious. This whole movie is so funny. Even if you've never seen The Addams Family and you're like, oh, it's a Halloween movie. It's not. It's not a Halloween movie. It's hilarious. The jokes are spot on. You want the love. You want to be treated. There's a triple threat in this movie. There's 3 love stories in one. So I think, if anything, this is the perfect movie to watch for summer romance. They have Wednesday with her fresh crush. Then they have Fester, which is the brother of Gomez, and he meets someone, and the story's interesting there. And then they have Gomez and Morticia, which, just an iconic couple, just absolutely head over heels for each other. This is definitely a movie you have to watch. I don't have much to say because I don't want to spoil it, but I love this movie and it made me just laugh the whole time. I couldn't keep my eyes off the TV. This was one of those movies that I had to pause if I had to go to the restroom. In fact, I held my pee in to go to like continue watching this movie. So you need to watch this. If you haven't seen this movie, I don't want to say you're lucky, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And I saw this when I was younger, and I used to be a huge fan. I still like Miley Cyrus. She's a good singer. I like her. I used to be like a fanatic of Miley Cyrus, like, because when I grew up with Hannah Montana, so I loved everything she was in. But watching it now, I understand why I wasn't. There's no connection between Miley and Liam, no connection at all, which is surprising because they ended up, I think they ended up having like a thing. I don't know if I'm downplaying that, but I remember them being a thing sometime. It did make me cry once. It did make me cry. Oh God, I'm an emotional baby when it comes to scenes like those. If you see it, you're gonna know what scene I'm talking about, but it made me cry. I did get up without pausing a couple times just because I didn't care about the relationship. It was only with scenes when it involved him and her. For some reason, I was more intrigued, invested in her family life than I was in her romance life. So if you watch this for summer romance, you're not gonna like it. But if you watch it to learn about like growth and family, then you'd really enjoy this movie. And for that, I am gonna give them, I don't know, I'm gonna give them, do you even like each other actually? Because there was no connection. I was debating on giving them You're Just Meant to Be Besties simply because they dated in real life and I didn't want to like offend anyone. But no, I think they didn't even like each other. Like, their characters didn't like each other. Last movie, called Premature. I never heard of this movie until just recently. What I loved about it were the conversations between her friends and her like partner and her family. Like, it was very real. Even the fight with her mom was real. I don't know if that was a spoiler alert. I'm so sorry. But you know how a lot of times you see a movie and the way they're talking doesn't make sense? You wouldn't talk like that in real life. This one wasn't. It was the exact opposite of that. Whoever wrote the script did such a good job at making it feel real. I was invested. I felt like I could have been their like friend. Like, I was seeing it. It was so good. The script of like the way they were talking, it just felt so real. I don't even know how to explain it, but yeah, it felt real. This is one of those slow burn movies, so nothing dramatic, like huge or dramatic happens. And if something dramatic does happen, it's not really like played up to make you feel like, oh my God, this is very important. It's more of like, it's just kept mellowed out to make you think like this is what happens. This is reality. It just shows the reality of love and getting older. It is like Call Me by Your Name, where the age gap is 6 to 5 years, 5 to 6 years, or 6 to 7 years, which made me a little uncomfortable just because age gaps make me uncomfortable. I don't know why. Although this age gap was uncomfortable to me, it didn't take a student-mentor relationship, which made it even more uncomfortable for me, like in Call Me by Your Name. As a matter of fact, what I saw in this movie was that the man was so immature for someone his age, and the girl was very mature for someone her age. So they met in the middle, and as the movie went on, you can see them, like, their frontal lobes are developing or something. Like, you could just see them, their age starts showing. It just shows you like that they're outgrowing each other. But to be honest, I think she outgrew him more than he outgrew her, because I still, at the end of the movie, saw him as someone who was extremely immature. So it was a really good movie, a nice slow burn. I think you should watch this. It's really interesting to watch. It's not gonna make you cry, but it will make you feel bad and be like, damn, like, that's real. We're gonna go ahead and put this in. I don't want to say Such a Cute Couple, Please Let It Last, because I did not like them as a couple. It was, they had chemistry, but they didn't have chemistry. They weren't majoring in it. I'm gonna do I'll give them 6 months. So these are all my summer romances. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a little look-sees and see if I completely agree with them. So rewatch after rewatch, we have 50 First Dates, Moonrise Kingdom, 500 Days of Summer, Mamma Mia, Say Anything, Addams Family Value. Okay, seems about right. I do like that. Are we majoring in chemistry? Sister of the Traveling Pants. I did like that. You know, I think I'm going to put 500 Days of Summer in Are we majoring in chemistry? I'm switching it out because when I was younger, I used to rewatch it. But nowadays, I don't really rewatch it. I don't know if I've seen it too much. So let's do 500 Days of Summer. Are we majoring in chemistry? Then Such a Cute Couple. Please Let It Last. Yes, My First Summer. Perfect there. I'll give them 6 months. Call Me by Your Name and Premature. Yep. Accurate. You're just meant to be besties. Accurate. How do you even like each other? Accurate. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this movie. Oh, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you decide to watch any of these films, go ahead and leave a comment below. Tell me which one was your favorite. Tell me if you agree with the ranking. If you disagree, please don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Bye.